The Army of Darkness, which they wanted to call Medieval Dead, but I think the studio said no to that.
That would have been better.
Crystal, would you like to read this? You're so good at reading, and you know how to pronounce words.
I shall speak with standard American dialect. Bound in human flesh, inked in blood, and amazingly hard to pronounce, the ancient Necronomicon, Book of the Dead, unleashes unspeakable evil upon mankind in director Sam Raimi's... Raimi. What'd I say?
You said rainy, but keep going.
Parentheses, Spider-Man. Outrageously hilarious sword and sorcery epic. Back to do battle with his hideous Deadites, Bruce Campbell reprises his role from the Evil Dead series as Ash, the handsome, shotgun-toting, chainsaw-armed department store clerk from S-Mart, ShopSmart. Houseware division. Demonic forces time warp him. Wow, that's actually what it says. Demonic forces time warp him.
Demonic forces time warp him.
Yeah.
Time warp is a verb.
I understand this, but it just did not compute.
Is the formatting on that HD DVD not right?
And his 73 Oldsmobile into England's Dark Ages, where he romances a beauty, Embeth, what is it? Embeth Davids?
Annabeth Davis?
This is Embeth.
Oh.
Embeth Davids?
That's a stupid name. Keep going.
And faces legions of undead beasts, including a ghastly army of skeletons. Can Ash save the living from the dead, rescue his girlfriend, and get back on his own time?
Why did you do that with like a sultry, sexy voice? What was going on there?
I don't know.
It's like, it's supposed to be an action-packed, scary thing. You're like, ooh, and then they sever their head. Like, what the fuck was that?
I would love to actually do.
Yeah.
Like how Casey does her princess one.
Oh my God. God, that people enjoy that audio.
Oh God,
People were like, I've never heard her curse. I'm like, I never heard her curse before. Yeah. Army of Darkness is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of, again, as someone who didn't know it was a sequel to two things, it kind of worked. Actually, all three of them kind of work on their own. Mm-hmm. Well, especially two. The only problem with two working on its own is that it says two, and you're like, what happened in one?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll need to know about it.
But it is funny when you look at, like, how the series went. It's like, we're in the cabin, there's a scary book, and there's monsters. And the second one, they're like, there's even crazier monsters and a bigger one. And it's like, oh, now we're in medieval times, and there is a Ray Harryhausen style skeleton army, and there's even more Three Stooges jokes.
Yeah.
And he's riding a horse, and now he's fighting Little Ash.
Yeah.
They really, again, it kind of feels like Beyond Thunderdome. Like, this was the big studio one where they did Mad Max and Road Warrior, and they're like, okay, Hollywood's involved now. We're putting Tina Turner in your movie, and we're giving it a bigger budget. Uh-oh, the director's depressed. That's a whole different story. But then the same thing with Evil Dead. It's like, you made two little indie films, and now Hollywood's here. You're making a big... You know those two little horror films you made? Mm-hmm. Give us a big action epic with a big battle. It's like, that's asking a lot, buddy. Yeah. But this is after he did Darkman also, so I think he was trying to make a name for himself there, which I actually reviewed Darkman, Sam Raimi's Darkman.
Okay.
When's the last time you watched Darkman?
I don't think I've ever watched Darkman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. You should give it a shot. When we reviewed it, we realized, like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that ends up in Spider-Man. You could tell he was just, like, testing out superhero stuff in Darkman, and you moved it into Spider-Man.
Okay.
Army of Darkness, they fully embrace the comedy.
They do.
There's still some scary moments in it. When they put him in the pit in the beginning, that was kind of creepy. When he's fighting the witch lady.
I just didn't find any of it creepy.
Not so much the witch lady, but when he's climbing out and the big monster comes out, that one always used to make me jump. It didn't do it for you? Nothing scared you in this?
No.
What about Evil Ash?
I love Evil Ash.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Can we just talk about the beginning too?
Yeah.
About how it's all of a sudden now it's another girlfriend, and
yes,
they retell.
Do you know who played her?
No.
Bridget Fonda.
Oh, really?
Yes. Bridget Fonda played her because it was a cameo. I mean, she had no voice. She had no dialogue or anything.
No.
Which I feel bad for Bridget Fonda right now. Have you seen the pictures of her circulating?
No.
Well, she hasn't been an actress like a celebrity since 2002.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she just looks like a regular 60-year-old woman who's not in entertainment. And everyone's like, look at these shocking pictures of Bridget Fonda, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, when you're not an actress in entertainment, like, I kind of know a lot of women who look exactly like that. Like, can we just, I know her husband's still entertainment, he's ripped, but can we leave Bridget Fonda alone, please? She's just minding her own business.
Always remember, you're not ugly, you're just poor. It's true.
What the fuck? Anyway.
It's true.
But that was Bridget Fonda. So,
Okay.
in the TV show, when they went to, well, the TV show, we're not going to talk about the TV show too
You
much,
just said we weren't.
I know.
but
These guys are, like,
it has to do with the continuity of the movies here.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, the first season, they weren't allowed to mention Army of Darkness, because,
Nope,
again,
we're not allowed. Yep.
but then the second one, they had a little leeway, and I like when he just goes, oh, yeah, we can go back in time. Like, that time I went to medieval times. But the third one, because it's always been the big question, does he keep going back to the cabin? Is it a different thing? And then in the third season, he's in the hallways of his old school. He's like, I met my first Linda over there. I'm like, oh my God, it is a new Linda every single time.
I love that scene. I love that they make fun of themselves so much in that show. I
Yeah.
swear, the show tops. I will actually say this, and I'm sure a lot of people will disagree. I think the show tops all the movies. I'm sorry. I loved the show.
We should come back and do
so
like a
much.
show retrospective at some
I
point.
would love that.
But yeah,
It's
so
good.
Ash so again, first one wimpy guy.
Yeah.
Second one, he's like kind of the badass. He's going through a lot, but he's trying to keep it together. This one, he's just an asshole.
Bruce.
He is
Bruce
an
Campbell.
ass. He is like a cocky asshole. He looks way better than he ever has. He's got the nice like slicked
Yeah,
hair.
the swoop.
Huh?
Got the
Yeah,
swoop
he's got the
going.
nice swoop. I mean, he has a high position at S Mart.
Yes, he
Oh.
does.
And in high school, I used to have a Shop Smart, Shop S Smart shirt.
And nobody knew what it was, right?
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And actually, girls I was dating, their parents would be like, "Do
What
you
was
work
with the
there?"
finger guns.
Because now I'm channeling the Army of Darkness Ash energy, so I'm becoming real douchey.
Okay.
They'd be like, S Mart, is that a store that you work at? And I went, no, I don't have a job. I learned that I probably shouldn't say that to the parents of girls I was dating. But anyway,
S Mart an actual place too? I was told that S Mart's a real.
I'm sure there
actual
is a
place.
place called S
No,
Mart.
I heard
but
like it's actually a chain.
by the
Someone
way,
told me that.
this poster I have here, I got from my good cousin Monica.
Yeah.
This is a great poster for Army of Darkness because it's Bruce Campbell's in it, so they have to make sure it's a Campbell soup that says Bruce on top of it.
I love it.
Did you really look at this when you bought it for me? It's actually really funny.
It's really good.
They have the one bald knight just hidden in the
Yes.
back,
I
and
didn't
it
like fully look at it.
and it just
honestly.
says moon, and he's saying, "Give me some sugar, baby."
Yep.
It's way more ripped than he actually kind of is. But apparently, because
Don't
I
talk
had
down on
this,
him.
they have an S Mart shopping bag.
Thanks.
When I
I
had
don't
this,
remember there being a dolphin though in the movies.
You sure?
yeah, it's a dolphin going through a coat hanger. What is that?
Yeah, that's totally in the movie.
So someone told me when I had this in the Evil Dead 2 video, I just realized I now have to censor my ex-girlfriend there. Someone actually knew what this said. And they're like, that says Supermarket Man. And I'm like, I kind of wish the movie was called Supermarket Man.
That's amazing.
Or no, Captain Supermarket. I think that's what they said it translates
right.
to.
Yeah.
That's great.
How'd you feel about Army of Darkness when you jumped to it?
I loved Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Were you confused yet again?
I mean, I think I was a little bit, but I went along for the ride.
Yeah.
I will say the beginning is a little confusing because it ends with him all of a sudden standing up and killing a deadite,
And everyone loves him.
and it's like yay, and then all of a sudden this begins, and you're like, why is he in chains? Like he's supposed to be the hero. What the fuck just happened?
It's like every time they make a new movie, they're like, how'd the last one
Continuity
end?
doesn't-
They're like, we changed our mind. It's like, oh, you should probably decide what you're ending to be before you make the scene, but okay. Yeah, it's just a non-stop action-packed. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, they are probably the most rewatchable movies ever made. Because there's just always something happening. There's never a slow moment. Whereas Evil Dead, they're trying to be like a legit horror film, so there
Yeah.
are slow moments.
But you also don't have to pay attention. Because you can look away, because I had Army of Darkness playing today, because I was like, all right, I watched all the other ones actually recently, not this one in a while, and I was like, oh, let me just throw it back on. And I was like, yeah, you really don't have to pay attention. As soon as you look away and then you look right back, you're like, oh, I know exactly where they are. And it's like
Yeah.
15 minutes went by and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's still fighting a skeleton. Cool.
I like that they upped the evil Ash, because there was an evil Ash in the previous one, but now it's like a
Yes, he
whole
did.
separate character, because he eats, there's a bunch of tiny ashes. I don't know whatever happens to those other tiny ashes, but he eats the one, and then it grows apart from him. He kills it,
Head.
and then it comes back as its own thing, and suddenly it's the leader of the Deadites. I don't know how Deadites work. They're a little all over the place, the
It's
Deadites.
very confusing to understand their logic.
Yes.
Just don't question it.
They just want to take over the world. They want that Book of the Dead.
They want to eat the souls.
All three
Yes.
of them. I love the fact that there's 3 of them,
Yeah, okay, that was...
which does help me actually make sense for the other 2 movies.
I did read the director's statement about that. I have some issues with it,
wait.
but yeah, the director, that's intentional, the 3
Really?
books, yeah.
It felt intentional.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Cool. And my intentions were right for once in my life.
I do love the running gag of he's got to say the 3 magic words
Yeah.
with the books, and it's Klaatu, Verada, Nektu. Where does that come from? Seriously? You guys don't know that reference?
Maybe?
It's from the original Day the Earth Stood Still. Those are the words that the alien does to turn off his killer robot.
No.
Klaatu, Verada, Nikto.
But I
Holy
do like Bruce Campbell trying to do the words and thinking he can like con the evil forces. Like, yeah, I did it. I definitely said it. I might have
Twice.
adopted some character traits from Bruce Campbell in this.
I mean, I said them all like kinda, but not fully.
Yeah,
not
but-
every syllable.
Yeah, I kind of did it. Like, like getting Vito's merch. I kind of got Vito's merch to the show. It wasn't the ones he mailed to me. They weren't nice and printed, but there was merch at that show and it did sell. So that was my Ash influence. I made the best of a bad situation.
Don't let Tony ever do anything. Tony should never be in charge of anything.
Vito, as an Italian, should know that you should not trust other Italians. It's a really bad idea.
What the fuck?
We're not the most trustworthy people, Monica.
Speak for yourself.
Damn.
Maybe Italian men. Maybe I'll limit it to Italian men.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
Except my father.
Okay. He's the exception.
My dad is a sweetheart and loyal.
My dad exists.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and I love that they're like, okay, guys, we now have an even bigger budget. Let's recreate all the movies we loved growing up. Remember Jason and the Argonauts? We're also gonna have a skeleton army. And I love that they have like puppets in the front and then men in cheap suits in the back, which, funny enough, because they are friends with like Peter Jackson, he kind of used that for Lord of the Rings. He had the good makeup effect orcs in the front and he had like the cheaper ones in the back. It's like, you couldn't have made Lord of the Rings without Army of Darkness. That's what I'm saying. That's what
We'll
I'm
go with
saying.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I'm glad we all agree with that
Yeah.
statement that I just pulled out of my ass there. I'm pretty sure
I think
that's...
it's true. I think it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so
believe you,
which
so.
which ending of Army of Darkness do you prefer? By the way, there's like a million cuts to this. There's like a million DVDs of this. Remember they had the bootleg DVD and it looked like it came in a paper bag? That was weird.
No.
I've never seen that.
Oh, yeah. It has the alternate. You know what the original ending is, right? Where he
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay, so he takes the potion.
Yeah.
And again, it's actually a funny callback. The wizard, played by Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld, Ian Abercrombie. He was also Alfred in a Birds of Prey TV show. He was no. He tells him he's like take the potion and say the 3 words. So it turns out he oversleeps, and when he wakes up, he's got a big beard, and there's like a post-apocalypse that happened.
I slept too long!
Apparently they test screened that and people didn't like it. So then they came up with the whole, which actually it's pretty funny because that's where we get the Hail to the King line is in the theatrical cut where
Yes.
somehow the demons come back and he just blows them away.
I love that.
He just makes out with some chick who just happens to be there.
That's what he does.
Another fun game you can play with all 3 movies
Yeah.
is count how many Ted Raimis there are. Because he's either someone's body double or he's multiple night. Like in Army of Darkness alone, I think he plays like 5 different
Take a
people.
shot every time he shows up on screen.
Yeah. Because he's like a knight, and then he's like a regular guy in the town, and then he's the guy that Bruce Campbell's talking to at the end. It's like he's just all over those movies. And then Evil Dead went away for many, many years.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.